Welcome, everyone. Happy Wednesday. I am so excited to be here on this rainy Wednesday here in Arkansas. Let me know in the chat where you are joining me from. Would love to know. And are you having rain too, or is it nice and sunny where you are? I'd love to know that. Just as everyone is getting connected, I'm going to check my tech real quick, and it looks like we are streaming now on Facebook. LinkedIn's up and running, so is YouTube. So good job there. Real quick, some housekeeping though. Um, let's see if I can find it. There we go. If you're joining from Facebook and you want to leave comments, I would love for you to go over to streamyard.com/Facebook. Got it right here on the bottom. And give StreamYard and Facebook permission to speak to each other. Otherwise, when you leave a comment, it just says Facebook user. I don't know who you are, and I can't acknowledge you. So if you would do that, I would really appreciate it. If you've already done it on the device for which you're watching us, don't worry about it. You're probably good to go. So yeah, that I will just leave that up here for you for now. So little introductions, I guess, are in order. If you are new to me and I am new to you, let me introduce myself. My name is Beverly Smith, and I am the founder of Career Success Strategies. I'm also the former owner of a staffing and recruiting firm. So I know firsthand what hiring managers are looking for. I now use that knowledge to help mid, senior, and executive level professionals build their resumes, help them with their LinkedIn branding, help them with their job search strategies, interview strategies, all that good stuff, all so they can land the career of their dreams. So last time, if you were with us, you know that we talked all about how to gain career clarity and confidence. So, in other words, if you are looking to transition, you think it's time for you to make a move, and you are not exactly sure where you should go next, in your career, this is a great episode and you want to join us for that. You want to go watch the replay. So just jump over to my YouTube channel, which is below at Beverly Smith Resumes, and you can find all of our replays, but specifically last week's. Not only that, but in last week's episode, I also gave you the opportunity to download the journal prompts that we talked about in the episode, so that you can take notes for sure. Please do that. But if you will download those journal prompts and spend some time with that, that is really, really, I promise you, going to help you so much as you start trying to pivot. And I'm not going to go into a whole dissertation about all of that, but I actually was thinking about y'all this morning as I was thinking about my own pivot and my own transition into this world of resume writing from staffing, and it is a lot different. There's a lot of similarities that I'm able to bring over, but an exercise like this, I did something kind of similar, and I found it to be very beneficial in helping me decide where I needed to go. So go watch that episode. Make sure you go to my YouTube channel. While you're there, if you'll go ahead and subscribe and click that bell, then you'll get notified every time I go live. Also, by the way, all of my videos for sure will be underneath the live tab, because right now I'm really only putting up content that I stream live. And since I do stream live to YouTube, that is where it is. So some of it will be on the main page, but for sure, everything is under the live tab. So I hope you find that helpful. So, and let me also just say too, that if you have a comment and you are watching us on the replay, if you will use hashtag replay and let me know. Also, if it's a question and you want me to come back and answer that, be sure to tag me. A lot of times, I don't know if someone has left me a comment unless they tag me, and I get a notification then, and I can definitely go back and answer any questions. So happy to do that for you as well. So this week, let's just move on forward. I'm really excited about this episode. We are going to be talking about avoiding red flags and how to get noticed and not overlooked. And specifically, I'm talking about red flags in your resume. So, I titled this episode Resume Red Flags, What Could Be Holding You Back from Interviews. So, um, if you have really extensive experience and it's not landing you interviews, there could be some key elements, some issues with your resume that is actually holding you back. So, today, my intention is to give you some actionable steps to avoid those red flags, especially if you have a long career history and you're worried maybe that you're being overlooked for age. I think you're going to find this episode extremely helpful. And I hope that you will take away from this um, like what you should keep in your resume, what should be cut, and how to highlight your experience strategically to increase those interview chances. So that being said, let's dive in. I actually have 5 red flags that I want to talk to you about. And our first one is I want you to avoid the temptation to include every single job that you've had in your career. So I know that you may know, well, I probably don't want to put the job that I had at the McDonald's drive-through way back when, 25, 35 years ago. You probably get that. But maybe you're thinking, well, post-college, maybe I need to list everything. Here's the deal. Long career histories can make you seem outdated and possibly overqualified. They can also confuse the reader of the resume on what exactly it is. Like you can actually provide them with too much information and you're asking them to pull out what's relevant to them to make that connection on how you're a fit. So generally what we do, my team and I do, is we typically will focus on the last 10 to 15 years unless you have older roles that directly relate to the target job. So we want to make sure, and what I found is most people in their career progression, it's what you've done over that last, excuse me, that last 10 to 15 years that are going to be the most relevant for the position that you're applying for. But it's not always the case. So, like, for example, we just helped a client of ours who has an extensive 24 years plus in sales. And this client has worked in several different industries and been quite successful in the sales roles that he has taken. And he also shared with us that he's really open to going back to some of those industries. So we ended up finding a way to bring in all 24 years of his work history, but we did it strategically and we kept that resume to 2 pages. So that's kind of the exception. I'm going to tell you that again, when your resume, so it's got to, one of the audience it's got to appeal to is those initial recruiters that are reviewing it, that are pulling it up. And if it is so generic or if it has so much of your experience, they are likely to click on or click off of it and go on to someone else's resume. So our job when we write resumes, we feel like is to help them see why you're a good fit. And we pull out what is the most relevant in your vast work experience. And we put that stuff, that information into your resume. Hold on just a second. I've got a tickle in my throat. Sorry about that, guys. All right. So I think we kind of covered that pretty good. Let's talk about our second red flag, and that is using dates that will reveal your age. So, I see a lot of people that still are putting dates from their college graduation, and that really can unintentionally create some age bias, can signal what your age is, give someone an idea. So, what we generally say is the rule of thumb is unless you have graduated from school within the last 3 to 5 years, even I would really say probably the last three. We're not going to put those graduation dates. And there's going to be some people later in their career that go back to school, and that may be a reason to put those dates. But it is not necessarily the the best thing to do. Um, a reason that you might is, let's say that maybe you're completely changing industries and you are getting a degree in a whole new area, and it's obvious from looking at your resume that you spent 20 years over here working in X, and then in the last 3 to 5 years you've been doing this other thing. And so that's going to help explain and give credibility to the work history that you have. But other than that, I'd say omit the years of graduation and only focus on, again, those relevant dates within the last few years. Also, the other thing when it comes to education, let's be sure that you're including recent certifications, that these things are going to directly enhance your qualifications for the position. And this is definitely something that where you might want to put dates, or if you're serving on committees and boards, or you're involved with organizations, you may want to list the dates of those types of things as well as the certifications as well. All right, moving on. Red flag number 3. This is listing responsibilities instead of achievements. It is so old school to do a resume. In fact, we jokingly call it the career obituary, because it just basically says, okay, I worked at this company from this date to this date, and here's the list of everything I was responsible for. So that basically kind of looks like the job description. So don't be guilty of copying and pasting the job description into your resume, or even into ChatGPT and say, spit me out a resume, because it's not as compelling. And especially for those of you that are in my target audience of these mid and senior and executive level professionals, you want to showcase what you've accomplished. That really should be your focus. And that is going to be the things that really show the value. And not only that, but you want to give some context in your resume, what it is that you stepped into. If you are in sales and your territory that you were assigned to was really struggling, and you drastically took it from the bottom of the group to the top, we want to know that. That's important information to share in your resume. And it's more important than listing everything that you were responsible for within that organization. Also, accomplishments and achievements are more likely going to showcase skills that transfer from one organization to another, from one type of role to another, from one industry to another. So these are the things that are going to speak more highly of your years of experience. And my goodness, if you've got 20 plus years of work history, even 15, you've got achievements that we're going to be able to go and pick and choose from. So we're not going to list every single accomplishment that, or everything that you have done in your entire career, but we're going to pull out those things that not only really are showcasing you in the best light, but that potential employer that the positions that you're targeting are going to find to be the most relevant and showcase that unique value that you bring to the table. So, number 4, red flag number 4 is irrelevant or outdated skills. So, a lot of resumes will have like a summary and then a list of skills or core competencies. You may even have some additional skills at the bottom. This is not the time to list every single skill that you have. So, for example, it used to be saying Microsoft Office Suite. That was a good thing to have on your resume. In today's day and age, it's going to be assumed that you know that. And let me just caveat there, if you are not comfortable in Microsoft Office Suite, go take some courses to up-level that. I mean, you can even just take courses through LinkedIn. You can take courses through your library, or you can invest in courses. You can find things on YouTube, but get yourself up to speed there. But it is pretty much assumed that you know how to navigate that software. What you would put, so, okay, I think I kind of jumped ahead of myself. Let me see if I can go back and explain this. So putting Microsoft Office Suite sounds a little bit dated versus saying I'm have experience using Salesforce. Salesforce is a high demand current software that not everybody has experience in. And it may be one of the requirements. You may even actually see that listed on several job descriptions that they want someone experienced in Salesforce. So if they've got that on there, you for sure want to have that. So you really want to include only current in-demand skills. And again, like I said, if it's necessary, go upskill into these relevant areas and add those skills to your resume. All right, red flag number 5. This is having a generic or overly long summary section. And let me just double check and see the comments. I'm not seeing anything, but if you've got comments, if you've got questions, y'all stop me and put them in the chat. Again, if you're watching this on replay, be sure to ask those questions with hashtag replay so that I can come back and answer those for you. So, all right. So number 5, again, is having a generic or just a really long summary section. Here's the problem. A lot of times these generic summaries are very vague and they don't really connect you with that target role. And honestly, they're full of fluffy words. They dilute the impact. And on the surface, they sound good. So I've got one that I'm going to read to you just for example, and you're going to see what I mean. So if you say something like dynamic and results-oriented professional with a proven track record of success in various roles across multiple industries, skilled at leveraging strategic thinking and innovative solutions to drive business growth and deliver outstanding results, known for exceptional communication skills and the ability to build relationships with clients, colleagues, and stakeholders, adept at managing multiple priorities in fast-paced environments while maintaining a commitment to quality and excellence, a dedicated team player with a focus on continuous improvement and a passion for delivering top-notch performance. Okay, that tells me nothing. You have just wasted, I don't know how many words that is, but you have wasted valuable real estate on your resume, and you've not told the reader one thing about what it is you do. In those summary sections, this is the time to come back and tap on those highlights of your careers. This gives you an extra chance maybe to highlight an accomplishment, even if you've got it down lower in your resume. But a great place also to put any awards that you've won or any leadership positions that you've been given, just some different things that could really draw the eye in. Here's the deal. This is in the very top portion of your resume. In the journalism world, they call it above the fold. In the website world, they also call it above the fold. This is what the reader sees first. So you want to draw that reader in. You want to intrigue them with your career story and make them want to continue reading your resume and exactly what it is that you are bringing to the table. Additionally, this is a place to put in valuable keywords that they're looking for and really help them see that you are checking their boxes. That way, when they go directly into those senior level capabilities or those core competencies or those skills, they are continuing to go, oh yes, this person is checking the box, and we want them to do that. So we do that. My writer and I do that by crafting a concise, tailored summary that's focused on those recent accomplishments, those core skills that align with the job that you're applying for. So I hope that helps. Just a kind of a recap on our 5 red flags. Red flag number 1, including every job in your career. Red flag number 2, using dates that reveal your age. Red flag number 3, listing responsibilities instead of achievements. Red flag number 4, having irrelevant or outdated skills. And red flag number 5, a generic or way too long summary section that uses lots of fluffy words. Okay. I'm going to throw in a bonus practical tip. So modernized resumes, I want to talk about the importance of having a clean layout. If you are mid, senior, or executive level professional, you really need to be using the executive formatting. And, this is one of the things with my team. We are very adept at making use, as I mentioned earlier, of that valuable real estate, how we are able to keep your resume to 2, maybe 3 pages if we have to, but in most circumstances, 2 pages with all of your work history is by using this very clean layout. You'll see that these most professionally written resumes have small margins. They also have various fonts, and they take advantage of doing things like using smaller font sizes, shrinking line space, just also we can get that in there, but still creating enough white space that it looks clean. It's still easy to read. You don't feel like too much information is crammed on there. And actually, you guys, this is really expected at the senior and executive level, even mid level, is that you have this very clean executive resume that is going to make it very easy and polished to read. The other tip I have for you too is keeping it relevant. Just ensure that every single piece of information on that resume aligns with the job role, and cut out anything else that does not add value. And that's one of the things that when we're working with our clients is we really work to extrapolate those details from your career story, from your work experience, those things that are really going to showcase what it is that you've done and how it ties in and fits. And that's why it's so important to have instead of having a generic resume, that one that's actually tailored to the job that you're applying for. So hope that is helpful. I did not realize I still had that banner up. Okay. I don't see any questions in the chat. Again, if you do have anything, please leave me a comment or a question. Would love to hear from you during this time. Would love to know about your own experience in shrinking your resume down to those 2 pages. And I would also love to know about any takeaways that you had from this episode. What are your biggest takeaways? And, or, you know, how do you feel like these red flags relate to you personally? All right. Since I don't have any comments, let's just kind of recap. It's really important that you focus on relevance, recent accomplishments, and taking a streamlined approach to your resume to improve your interview chances. And I want to encourage you. I know that searching for your next job can feel overwhelming, and starting off with the resume, guys, don't go at this alone. If you are a mid, senior, or executive level professional, my team and I are here. We are ready to help you craft a resume that will guide you through, craft a custom resume, and will also help guide you through your job search and interview process. And love for you to reach out and book a complimentary consultation with me. Let me post my link in the chat. And then I think I have a banner for that as well. There you go. Scrolling across the bottom there. But yes, so again, don't go with this alone. At your level, you should be investing in a professionally written resume. I know that you're really close to the situation yourself, and sometimes it's hard to extrapolate those things that are the most important for you to showcase in your resume, and that's what we're good at. It's one of the things. We take our background. We have my team and I have backgrounds in recruiting as well as resume writing, and we take that and we work to help you find those ideal accomplishments that you need to be showcasing. So make sure, grab that link. It's in the comments. It's right here scrolling across. And it is a complimentary consultation where we will talk about your situation very specifically and how we can best serve you. So I hope you found this episode to be very helpful. Please like it and share it if it makes sense. If you know someone who's looking for a job, please send this episode to them. And again, if you are not following me yet on LinkedIn, go ahead and connect with me. I would love to connect with you, and make sure that you click the bell on LinkedIn and get notified every time I post. I try to share really good, helpful information that you are going to find useful, not only in your job search, but in your career in general. And so would love to connect with you. All right. Next week, I will be back with a special guest. My friend Jacob Stripling will be joining us, and he is a recruiter. We had Michael Sendrick, a recruiter, on a couple of weeks ago. Jacob is also a recruiter, and we are going to be talking about how you can work with a recruiter to increase your chances of finding your next position. So I'm real excited to bring him onto the show. So hope to see you next week on our next episode at 12:30 Central, and you have a wonderful rest of your day.